What do we know then about Loathes' position when it comes to potential proposed bailouts?
Yeah, so Loathes' position is obviously going to be crucial because he is widely seen as the most senior financial official in China. And according to investors and analysts, it's likely that he will be making a decision on whether or not there should be state support to allow Huarong to repay its creditors, or whether there will be some kind of large-scale restructuring of its debt. And overall, the approach that Loathes argued for in speeches over the years is that he wants to see a reduction in moral hazard, and he also wants to see more market discipline imposed on state-owned companies by credit markets, so that they will be encouraged to focus on their core businesses where they're strongest, and to use their money in more productivity-enhancing projects rather than the kinds of speculation that Huarong was involved in, as we saw from the evidence given in the trial of its former chairman.
Yeah, Tom, we've obviously seen a number of quite prominent state-owned companies that have defaulted this year, last year as well. Just explain to us and just clarify for our viewers why Huarong is different and why it makes that decision by Loathes and his team that much more complicated.
Well, I think that in a way Loathes will be looking at the fact that there hasn't been that much contagion from the decline in the value of Huarong's bonds as investors are pricing in a possible default. There hasn't been that much contagion to China's wider bond market, and that might embolden him to think that maybe Huarong, despite its huge size, I mean, it has more than 1 trillion yuan in assets, is much larger than any other SOE that has defaulted previously. He might look at that and say, well, you know, the fallout could be contained. So it really is just a balancing act. I think that certainly the government, you know, with the execution of Huarong's chairman, has shown that it's not a fan of many of the business lines that that Huarong was engaged in. So I do think there would be, you know, looking at Loathes' outlook, a lot of arguments in favor of allowing a default there. And then there's on the other hand, you know, worries about triggering some kind of wider financial crisis that, you know, if you look at the bond market response so far, maybe there isn't such a risk. So that's something to pay attention to.